Many anime fans enjoy the medium for how relatable the protagonists of the show might be. However, while you might relate to the personalities of some, you might find a harder time relating to others on a financial scale. Even the most affluent of real-life figures might have a hard time relating to the true 1% of the anime world. It's 15 richest anime characters. Let's go! Elf Yamada is a rival light novel author to the protagonist, Masamune, but she is also extremely popular. Despite often completing her light novels close to the deadlines and occasionally even missing them, all of her light novels sold so well that she was able to buy the abandoned mansion beside Masamune's house, making them neighbors. She is also wealthy enough from her light novel sales alone that she could afford to send herself, Masamune, and other fellow authors on a beach resort trip late in the series with no worries about it affecting her finances. For those unfamiliar with the 2008 anime, it follows a group of elite students known as Special A who've earned their status through their academic achievements. Among the main cast of characters, TAKISHISHIMA is the #1 student in school, as well as arguably the most affluent out of the group. From giving out a blank check to buy a house on a whim to a family estate the size of a village. Kai's financial status as only a high schooler is enviable, to say the least. Ouran High School Host Club introduced many young anime fans to the world of the rich and bored in the story of a host club for rich students. However, at the top of the food chain is undeniably Tamaki Suho, who is well regarded even in a school for the extremely wealthy for both his exceeding wealth and charisma. Tamaki provides less of a punch to viewers' finances, however, as he's introduced to commoner things by Haruhi and becomes increasingly fascinated with those less than bourgeoisie foods and activities. FARIS NYANNYAN, also known as Rumio Akiha, is a part-time employee and the owner of her own maid cafe. She also comes from a family that owns most of Akibara and has her butler named Kuroki. Because she is so wealthy, however, FARIS rarely told anyone about her wealth out of fear that she would be treated differently. She was also incredibly lonely growing up, partly due to her wealth, and could only confide in Kuroki and a few other people because of this. As a long-running best girl in many people's childhood animes, BULMA is quite hard to forget. Even harder to gloss over is her rather wealthy background. Though it's not known just how rich her family is, BULMA's father was the inventor of the capsule technology, which revolutionized the way objects could be transported by making them pocket-sized. Being Dr. Brief's only child, BULMA is set to inherit everything, making her easily the most affluent character on the show. YUMEKO JABAMI had 10 million yen in her school bag when she first fought Mary Seotome during Kakegurui, compulsive gambler. She is also an excellent gambler and won many games throughout the series, often putting her opponents in debt because of how much she won against them. When her opponents tried to cheat her in games, she saw through their plans and easily countered their strategies. However, she also understood that her delight in defeating her opponents was not rational and even felt guilty for being unable to sympathize with everyone she put into debt. Rasual was born into the Mathers family, which was a noble house active in the Dragon Kingdom of Lugnica. His mansion was extremely huge, with countless rooms, and at one point in Re:Zero, it was discussed that he should let people from a neighboring village take safety in his own house, meaning that it was big enough to comfortably fit an entire town's worth of people. His financial power and magical power earned him the roles of being the Lord of the Roswell Mansion, the Margrave of the Mathers territory, and the Dragon Kingdom of Lunica's court mage. Many people like to joke that the rich sell their soul to the devil, though in Black Butler, the joke might hit a bit too close to home. Following the tragic death of both of his parents and their estate burning down, CIEL became the sole heir to the PHANTOMHIVE family name. Subsequently, CIEL became the owner of the Phantom Corporation, a company renowned for its toys worldwide. Though just a child at 13 years old, CIEL is one of the richest people in England. He managed to strengthen his family name and wealth despite tragedy, albeit with a considerable amount of his achievements being credited to Sebastian. Earlier this year, the trailer for the millionaire detective Balance Unlimited generated buzz all around social media platforms, especially for the title's affluent detective. While the anime's run was put on hold after 2 episodes due to the current circumstances, the first 2 episodes provide great insight into the rich life of Daisuke Kambe. Though he's dubbed a millionaire in the title, Daisuke is arguably in possession of greater funds as he is capable of paying 1 billion on the spot to an Arab prince while still having an unlimited balance. Not to mention the large size of his jet and his ability to pay off any property damage he causes. It's safe to say this character borders on overpowered with financial capabilities alone.
Speedwagon.
Hirohiko Araki created what is arguably an anime universe rich in many aspects. But within JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, one character seems to possess more material wealth than anyone else within the cast. While Robert E.O. Speedwagon is mostly featured in parts 1 and 2 of the series, his influence extends past those 2 seasons. With money acquired from the oil trade in the United States, Robert became the founder of the Speedwagon Foundation, a powerful and influential organization with ties to the underworld and the supernatural. From the avid anime fan to the casual viewer, many people grew up with Yu-Gi-Oh! In the original series, most will remember SETO KAIBA as a top duelist as well as someone to envy his deck and influence within the card game world. That sort of influence may come directly in correlation with his strategic intelligence, but being adopted by a billionaire and having your own company before graduating high school also helps. However, fans cannot begrudge KAIBA about his wealth, since he was the one to ultimately create the immersive virtual experience of Duel Monsters. SINBAD is the former king of Syndria, the world innovator, the head of the International Alliance, and the president of the world's most powerful trading company, the Syndria Trading Company. With SINBAD holding so many lofty titles, they also came with a lot of fame and riches galore. Even though there are no exact estimates of his wealth, the fact that he has so many resources, connections, and political power suggested that he was extremely wealthy. His being the former king of Syndria, on top of all of what he did during his rule, also meant that he had much financial power in Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic. In the opening scene of Kaguya-sama Love is War, we quickly come to find out that Kaguya is, simply put, filthy rich. From her perspective as the daughter of one of the richest men in Japan, the audience quickly learns that there's about nothing you can't buy. Though love doesn't seem to abide by that rule. Kaguya's wealth, unlike many others, can be seen as a weakness at times since it led to her having a very sheltered life. This resulted in Kaguya being very inexperienced in many things to the point of lacking common sense. Her immense wealth also proved to be very intimidating for her romantic interest throughout the series. Even among the rich, there is just a threshold past which someone is so wealthy, it's just ridiculous to imagine all that money at their disposal. In that upper echelon of material possession is Nagi SANZENIN. As the sole heiress to the SANZENIN fortune, Nagi is constantly put at risk, which is how the primary premise of the anime comes about. The amount of danger her life is put at constantly is only natural for someone capable of throwing 20 trillion yen into a prank, though. As of yet, there is arguably no anime character more affluent than the vampire queen, Mina Tepes. You would think the wealth comes from the position, but some of Mina's financial transactions are beyond those of the richest royalty. From buying an entire island off the coast of Japan to serve as her vampire kingdom, to paying off the Japanese national debt worth 40 trillion yen. It's difficult to estimate just how much funds she has access to. Additionally, the lavish lifestyle she maintains throughout the anime portrays that she is never in a pinch for money. Seems that the life of the undead has many glories to envy.